Okay, let's just get right into it because this week is actually a little bit nice and easy because I have literally some of my absolute favorite people. If you didn't know, the real reason why Bear Snake is on the panel is because he bribed me. He took me to Casa Bonita. I don't know if you know what that means. There's a 3-month waiting list. People are outside literally going, how are you getting in? How is this work? How did you come here? Inside, there's cliff divers, there's mariachi bands, there's a puppet show, there's video games.
Diving into water?
Yeah, diving into the water the whole time, doing flips inside. It's the wackiest place in the entire world. He got me in there. I said, you're on the panel. That's how it goes. It's a simple bribe. He also happens to have a very cool project that are actually one of the OGs in ETH and then ended up being one of the OGs in Ordinals, Forgotten Rune Wizard Cult, who have a game, already one game, already another game, and this time we have some updates coming soon we're going to be able to play. What's going on, Bear Snake?
Yeah, so Forgotten Runes, if you don't know, we've been here since we're coming on 3 years in June.
That's OG.
And 3 years is OG now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're a fantasy project. Really, we're making a TV show with a writer from Derek Kolstad, an animated series. We have a comic book. There's some up over there. There's a whole 10 series that's globally published. We have a couple video games. One, since we've been building for 2 years, it's going to be coming out in the next couple of months, or at least some builds. And yeah, so we're busy at work and stoked to be here. Proud to call you guys my friends. Denver was the fucking shit.
Yeah, 100%. We'll definitely share some more stories and talk about all the things. Because you're involved in every single subset of this culture here. So it's crazy. When you go to Denver, he's invited to cabal dinners that I'm not invited to. So we're going to hopefully get that leaks from there today.
You have to be a certain age.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just really old.
Next, if you guys didn't know, right? So ETH Denver's been going on for a long time to bring all the ETH builders together. This is one of the first years where Ordinals have really popped off. The person who actually figured out, hey, let's just take over ETH Denver and turn it into Ord Denver, which then was pretty much what everyone's like. It was more Bitcoin Ordinals than Ethereum. It was literally just Jen. I'm not even joking. It's Jen and then Mike, a.k.a. Overlord. They put it all together. They coordinated everything. They ran around like crazy. I know Jen didn't sleep for many, many days in a row. And the result was, honestly, for me personally, my estimate was to Bear Snake, 5 friends that are going to be my friends for life. That's pretty good, not including Jen, right? I got to talk to some of the smartest people in the entire space, like mind-blowing devs about interesting stuff. There was also a rave there, so I actually got to have some fun after all the work was done. One of the best events I've ever been at. I think everyone's saying the same thing. Jen did all of it, so what's going on, Jen?
Oh my God, I'm happy we survived, and honestly, you guys, especially you, Rosenbaum, Big God, as a chief, like the IRL people.
I was there.
That literally, yeah, but you didn't carry any boxes. Anyway, the IRL people.
Troy was making trades the whole time.
Literally, you know what? You didn't send them to me and Mike either. Like other people did that, right? But no, I don't care.
You thanked me in a tweet.
Okay, hold on. Let me just be nice about everyone, and then we can bring Troy into the conversation.
It's fine. I'm dead.
But you guys literally became family, and I think like not that you already weren't, but so far. And yeah, I feel like a month ago, I mean, I literally paid for this house on January 22nd. So like, no one in ETH knows how, no one in crypto knows how to plan anything. Like, ETH Denver is the longest standing conference. No one's ever done anything there. But yeah, it was like less than a month of lead time, and I started talking about it. Everyone's like, Ord Denver, why would you do that? And it just started growing and growing, and I'm just happy people had fun. I think like my pitch deck was literally like, I'm gonna make a hub. It's gonna be the Ordinals HQ where people can create, meet each other, get involved in Ordinals, learn what's up, chill, hang, vibe, rave. And that's exactly what we did. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people had positive experiences, and that's all you can ask for.
100%. We're gonna do it. Yeah. Give Jen a round of applause. Seriously, if you weren't there, it was just crazy. Me as a nerd, I'm not joking. I got to talk about keyboards in the programming language Rust and obscure music with so many different people, which I'm just like, I know I'm around my people. It's like, what keyboard are you using? Like, obviously it's Will Split and these keys. And I'm like, yes, let's go. So
the owner of the house was like a little bit worried when I was like, hey, late night hacker hours, right? And he's like, okay, so what are we hacking? Is the FBI going to show up?
That's what you call that?
And I'm like, no, it's Bitcoin nodes. And then he's like, do 100 people need to mine Bitcoin? I don't know if I have enough power. I'm like, first of all, bringing in generators. Second, no. Then he was like, like people, they host weddings. He's like, people get really rowdy. Like people are going to get sick if you have like open bar for this long. The first 3 people that walked into the house sat down and played the grand piano. And I was like, this is the type of crowd we have. Like, and he was like, these people are so nice. Now I want to know about Bitcoin. So we did our job.
We got him. Beautiful. Okay, so since I don't want it to be all so Bitcoin heavy, one of my favorite people, you may know him. He's here very, very often. One of the chillest guys in the entire space. And actually has a podcast, but it's mostly Ethereum based. I got to say, truthfully, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to call you out, right? It's kind of a testnet podcast is an interesting strategy. But he went to ETH Denver and actually participated in some more ETH stuff and is always really tapped in. Colin, a.k.a. Brightfield, what's going on?
Yeah, you know what? I have to second what Jen was saying though. I went to the Ordinal House and had a great time there. Brought a few people that were just getting into it, and they had their minds blown. So it was awesome. I just want to say thanks to Jen for being so welcoming for that and organizing that. But yeah, you know, it was interesting. I hung out with a lot of Solana devs actually. So there was a lot of, you know, I was at ETH Denver and I did more Solana and Ordinal things than ETH things.
That's so crazy. It's like every person who's going there, it's like, ETH Denver, dude, I really love the Bitcoin events. It's like, dude, I really like the Solana events. It's like, okay, ETH, we're down bad. Okay, it's okay.
I'm not gonna lie though, ETH Denver is one of my favorite conferences. And like last year I went for like all of Build Week, right? Like people are still there skiing in Breckenridge. It's like a whole month. And I do feel like ETH Denver brings in a lot of people that don't go to the NFT specific events, right? It's really builder heavy, and I felt like that was really beneficial for me as a non-dev last year. And yeah, I'm a little bit sad that I didn't get to go at all. So I do want to give ETH Denver that.
100%. The fact that they collected builders there for so long definitely impacted, like, you know, what came there. Speaking of a builder, actually, Troy on the panel, I saw him running around the entire weekend. I think he like traded more this weekend than I've traded my entire life, just running around the house. And I think he met more people than anyone. Yeah, he was not giving me any of it. He was just like, he would run to his computer and then run back. What's going on, Troy? What are you working on?
You know, yeah, right when I got there, I just was doing something and I wanted to trade and buy some stuff. But yeah, you just have to ask me. You just have to ask me. That's all you have to do. Yeah, dude, you know, what is it that I don't do besides be quiet about it? You know, I'm in deep in ordinals since the beginning. I own a sub 8K. It's the first anime collection on ordinals. We have a wonderful team. We just don't rush to the market. We just build every day. We talk every day. And I'm doing some other things in the art world as well. I got some art projects, and I'm working with a lot of artists that I'm slowly just getting to know as people as they understand ordinals and are bullish on being onboarded and continuing to work and inscribe there, and knowing that I'm telling them, look, you want to keep doing it here. Enjoy the experience. And don't just do a one and done, you know, kind of thing is the kind of thing. But yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff over here.
And Ordinals.
Yeah, I said that already.
Oh,
okay.
My name is Troy.
There's more. Beautiful. Okay. We'll get more. All right. So before we dive into what happened this weekend, I mean, we have breaking news in the timeline. We got to just talk. What are the current events? And these are super important current events. Binance noticed a big problem in the scene. They said, wow, there's not enough women here. And what's the problem? How can we get more women? It's so simple. It's simply a perfume. Okay. Oh shoot. Okay. Well, that's the wrong tweet. That's the wrong tweet. Okay, that's actually in support of it here. But okay, somewhere I have it. If you want to search if you search Binance fragrance, here it is. Got it. Boom.
I responded to that. I think that's the most engagement. I'm like, the women in crypto smell fine. Teach the men how to shower.
Yeah, Binance deodorant. So I mean, a lot of people
fair.
They got mad about made people mad, I guess, because it was kind of like tone deaf. It's a weird thing. I don't know any woman who's just like cryptocurrency. It's complicated, but. Is there a fragrance I like? And so some people said it was engagement farming. I don't know.
Did you smell it?
I actually thought they got hacked.
I'm a
I
fragrance guy.
thought they got hacked. Like, I literally thought this was like Coinbase, maybe SBF from jail. Like, I literally thought that this was a joke. Like, I thought they got hacked. There's no way they spent money and made this. But I guess they did.
It's on point because when I told people I was at ETH Denver, people were saying, imagine the smell.
I'm not going to lie. I thought about getting a deodorant sponsor.
In all honesty, I don't think those of us running the Ord House took a shower for 3 days straight. So
Yeah, that's true.
That's just to be fair.
Yeah.
We could have used some Binance fragrance at that time.
But no,
I did take one shower.
But I will say it's like, well, I don't know. If I'm looking for investors, pheromones are a big part of it. Okay, if you want to be part of my project, I don't want
I'm
you
just going
smelling.
to say the amount of people that got laid at my party.
What? What is
I'm
this?
just saying.
Troy didn't get laid, obviously. That's the quickest way. A quick what?
You know,
Nerds are coming up in
If
this
you want
world.
to
Sorry,
know about
Troy.
attracting girls, Binance, hit
No.
me up.
When you get to a certain age, those feelings don't happen anymore.
Nerd clout goes
That
far
is
in Ordinals.
not actually true. The demographic that is the most active is old people. Look it up.
Okay, you just called them old people. Okay. Okay.
No, but you have fragrance alpha by the way, speaking of Binance, you do.
Oh, I'm a crazy fragrance. But this is funny. They were like,
This is the most-
they were like, we're gonna attract women with fragrance, and I'm like, oh, I'm a fragrance
is in.
nerd. It's only
Bing is
attracting
in.
me.
No, you have the Beacon has this alpha he told me about, like he can remember smells from fragrances over the year and cataloged in his mind.
Check it. I'll give you some
You
alpha.
fucking
I'm an
do.
insane person. Here's what I do.
Yeah.
I buy fragrance samples in bulk. You go to Lucky Scent. You buy samples of each one. Whenever you have some special event, a wedding, a vacation, you pick out a brand new one. You only use that one on the vacation. After you're done, you put it in the archive. You label it. I want to go to my friend's wedding or go to my trip to Spain. I pull out one of the samples. I smell it and I go, oh my God, do you remember? I literally will do this on the phone talking to someone who was there, and they will go, how the fuck did you remember that? I'm like, dude, I'm over here taking this drug that captures memories. And it's not that you spend $100, you can do this for life. I've been doing it for
It's
a long time.
incredible.
It's an insane person move. But yeah, try it out. Okay. Lucky Scent, sponsor me. Like, I'm literally, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the next very, very important topic here. Actually, it is kind of breaking news. It actually is important. And I got some Art Blocks MFers in the front crowd. Art Blocks just put out a statement. If you guys don't know, I mean, Art Blocks, they're like one of the most important, serious institutions inside of our space. We are legit these days because autoglyphs are going for $14 million, right? So they said, hey, check it out, guys. New chapter. We're actually putting kind of the pause on any more new releases right now. Going forward, we're only going to do curated releases, much less small, collections of them. And we're now, with the acquisition of Sansa, going to make the tool so anyone can mint. So instead of having multiple collections where there's like different tiers of, are you curated, are you playground? Now there's one big old tier that it's like the dream to get on, and anyone else, go to Sansa, mint it yourself, we'll give you that technology. So it's really the end of an era. It also means that any person who wants to get one of those lower art box collections, they can't anymore. I don't know if it'll limit opportunities, but also it's focusing for them. There's going to be less drops. There's going to be drops not for a while. So if you got a squiggle out there, you got some art blocks, maybe your price is going to go up. So yeah, pretty major news. We got some people I got to hear. Obviously Rosamond, what's up?
At the end of the day, I think this is a really great move. Being up in the Art Blocks Discord all the
He
time.
works for Art Blocks also.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It's wild. I mean, how every one of us have opinions about the projects that we hold, and that's fair, I think. But it's wild how many people have their opinions on what Art Blocks should do, and it's been a constant nagging and threat and crying and uproar over the last 3 years of what should be done. And there's no real consensus, but I think overall, before this came out, I would say one of the major things that got people disgruntled was the fact that they released too many curated collections without highly refining them. And then they kind of start bagging on the curation board. And then when you have what started out as the Art Blocks Factory, now it was Presents. That's right, baby. Basically what happened was...
Don't say too much.
No, this is my own personal opinion. It does not reflect on Art Blocks itself at all.
Thank you.
Because
Good job.
We need that disclaimer right now.
Yeah, let's make that disclaimer because I'm reading this live, about 10 minutes before the show. So this is my own personal opinion, but from my reading of the channel over the last 3 years, I will say this is what the people wanted. They want to have a slower drop cadence. They want to put a higher focus on curated. So this accomplishes that. And if we remember about a month ago, they bought Sansa, which is a generative art secondary marketplace. It's an OpenSea basically that's a little more fine-tuned to navigate and purchase generative art versus just your random PFP and every other thing out there. So with them taking that over, it has the tooling available in conjunction with Art Blocks, behind the scenes infrastructure, the engine product to allow artists to put out works at a faster pace that's not directly attached to Art Blocks, so it's not watering down the Art Blocks brand. And it's also stopping the gating from people that, I'm not going to read that yet, stopping the gating from the presents because, a lot of people, they get thousands of submissions, like literally, you guys, thousands of submissions, and people always go, how come you're not releasing my work yet? How come you're not giving me an answer? Well, the fact of the matter is, there's 1,000 projects to go through. So this, I think, is going to open up the opportunity for people to release their works that wouldn't have qualified for curated, but they still get that quasi Art Blocks branding. They still get it in front of the Art Blocks collector, and it allows them to kind of move up through the ranks of the generative art world.
see, the
So I
problem-
think it's a good choice.
So the problem is you legally have to say that, right? But no, the problem with that though is you're removing like the minor leagues almost, right? If you don't have factory where art blocks is like you're not ready for curated, but here's a little one. If you put it into the big pool of Sansa, it's the same as Prohibition right now. How
Well-
many people are going through all the Prohibition releases and saying, "Ooh, I think I found a really good one," and elevating it to the next level? You don't make it out there without some
Yeah.
level of curation.
Great point. But art blocks, they are the engine, quote unquote engine, and that's their back end business that they license the technology to. I can't even count. Maybe Aventurine help me here. Over 50 different platforms use the art blocks engine, where you can release generative art and get promotion and marketing through that individual platform if you're good enough, right? But if you're not good enough, Artblocks ain't gonna promote you, Prohibition ain't gonna promote you, none of the 50 other engine partners are gonna promote you, so who cares? Do it like FX Hash did and put your work out there. Let the people choose who's good, let the people determine what's quality, and let yourself grow organically. Because the fact of the matter is, with ChatGPT these days, anybody could be a generative artist these days, right? So let's go ahead and put that, to the test and let people create art and let the people say what good art is.
How do you move up the funnel though? Like, how do you? Okay, so you make something and it's dope. Like, is it supposed to be natural? Like hive mind, the community just sort of gravitates towards certain projects.
Well, you know how the community is. We all say, "Well, that's the best art," and we're all refined
You were
collectors,
at
and then
the
it goes up in
Cabal
price.
dinner,
Yeah.
So you tell us. What did the Cabal say about this?
You were at that dinner.
Oh.
So
I got the kids
And
meal.
I was sitting
Until-
with my friend from Philly.
yeah, I was talking to him too.
up until today, or all the way through Artblock's, existence, Curated has the only like official Artblocks stamp of approval of this is artwork that we're backing, that we're behind, that we chose to release this artist of. So the Presents and the Factory and all these other kind of Artblocks branded releases have always been kind of first come, first serve. Once your code's good enough, you can release. There's been no qualifying on that. Curated has been the only qualifier to release work. So now they're putting a finer focus on that to kind of elevate that curation.
In all seriousness, though, I do think it's a good thing, right? When I came into NFTs and Web3 and crypto, right, it was like this freedom and like separation from a platform, and then platforms dictated everything because there was not this democratization of tools. And I think that like it's better when stuff gets organically, into the community and artists start connecting with collectors versus this, I don't know, like this is what Artblocks Curated picked today, so it's definitely gonna fly, or like this is on super rare. I feel like that behavior was kind of the antithesis of why a lot of us were here. And of course, people are lazy and they just want to make money and whatever it is, but there's so many quality people and quality artists, so I think it's a really good thing.
I agree with Jen in that it simplifies the process too, because if people are new, they don't understand the difference between Artblocks Playground or Factory or Presents and Artblocks Curated. They just want to know, like, okay, I'm into generative art, I want to get something. And so now it simplifies the process, I think, in time as we're getting new entrants into the bull market. And then it does give more opportunity for newer artists to get involved without having to have any kind of gatekeeping.
Do you have any thoughts, venturing? Just I have to get every employee because
Yes.
we can catch him. Because truthfully, I send all these videos to Snowfro, and I say, look what he's saying about you.
Yes, I was hanging out with Snowfro in Paris.
Yes. Oh God, dude.
Anyway, I agree a lot with what's been said so far. I mean, I think with anything, really the main concern, like Rosenbaum has said, is just really centers around the curated choices that they've been making recently over the past couple of months. And I think just with everything that's going on, to be able to take a step back and to focus more into like actually choosing those curated pieces is going to be really important for them. I think no matter what, there's been instances where projects have not crossed through and been chosen by the curation board that have, kind of risen above and, they command a premium. And then, of course, at the same time, there's been curated releases that didn't really vibe with the community as a whole, I would say. But, overall, I think this is a good move because they'll be able to focus even more on, that important piece of selecting the right projects.
Well, all we know is that every single curated release is going to be more of a gas war now and more intense at least. And maybe it's an easier, safer play.
That's
To just
actually-
show up
Welcome to the
early.
bull run, baby.
Yeah, and
Okay, we're back.
it's interesting you bring that up because that's problem number 2 that hopefully the team should be getting together and trying to solve. But, besides the stuff that they brought up today, I mean, a lot of community members have brought up issues with the way that the Dutch auctions work, and how that a lot of times pushes people out. And I know Art Blocks has always been about trying to be more inclusive and get more people to collect that artwork. So it'll be interesting to see, what the team comes up with around that. I mean, there's been talks about the way 6529 has done their allow list for the meme cards and that sort of thing. And I mean, there's a lot of different mechanics that could be chosen. So we'll see what happens.
Gas is a future, not a bug.
Yeah, sometimes, for art. Okay, well, so we're gonna see if you have some art blocks, maybe your bag's gonna go up. There's no curated for a while. There's nothing really to do. I can collect some old things. When the new ones pop up, we'll see how hungry you are to buy some new ones. I bet you if they give it a big break, the first one that comes back is gonna be a banger. So we'll see what it is. Okay, so let's go on the exact opposite. Because before we talk like Ord Denver, ETH Denver stuff, we got to talk about some degenerate things. Because you know what, I'm pretty pissed off. I got a lot of friends who are DMing me saying, "Well, what was your wormhole? What was your portal claim? Oh my God!" So we are in airdrop season, and it's happening like over and over again, week over week. And it's people are making money, right? If you had a Mad Lad, it's like 35K is what you got per Mad Lad.
If you missed, unless you missed it.
Unless you missed it, unless you missed it here, right? Wormhole, some people were actually pretty pissed about it because they said, "Hey, I had a DGOD or I was interacting
or
with the
Mad
chain.
Lads, and
I
they
didn't get
missed
it."
the window to they were there to do it and they missed it.
Yeah, so there's this crazy thing happening now, right? So every time I'm using anything on chain, we're talking about, first of all, what am I farming, right? If I'm doing anything, I'm going, hey everyone, where are we farming now? Okay, cool. If I'm gonna move money, I'm gonna buy something. It's like you have to be thinking that way because people are making stupid amounts of money from this, and I'm like, when is it gonna end? And then every week my friends are like, you didn't get this one? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you didn't get this one? Oh, I'm sorry. So it's getting nuts. I don't know when it's gonna end. Like, I don't know.
I also feel like all these airdrops try and be so transparent, but like even the Optimism one, I had 3 wallets that qualified on their shit, did not qualify. This is, I don't like this trend.
Well, I'm saying it's confusing. I took the Optimism one. I had a friend say, dude, you got Optimism. I went, what? And I opened it, I was like, oh my God, that's great. And like, it was free random money. I don't remember using Optimism. I don't even remember doing it.
It was if you had like people spend over an ETH on gas fee. There were like multiple qualifiers. Yeah.
If you donated to Gitcoin, you got some optimism.
Right, which I've done 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Does anyone run transparency reports on these? Or I mean, they don't have to, so they're not going to do it.
So there are but there's no official audit, but there's definitely like conversations and then like improvement board. Like Optimism has a lot of discourse, but not to distract.
Well, it's like right now, we've seen this before, like, obviously Blur farming got pretty crazy and pretty intense and people were doing crazy strategies and certain collections were more important because they didn't have royalties on them to farm and it got wild. People made some pretty okay money from Blur and then the next ones kept getting worse and worse and worse until eventually no one cares anymore. But like, I don't know, if we are going to be in a bull run for a long time, it feels like this has to be what you're doing. I got to be like, okay, who's new? Who are the new wallets? Who are the new, who's the new exchanges? Oh, okay, I'm farming there and like,
it's important to set if you're going to do this in farming on like any chain just about is to like have 30 or 40 wallets and split up if you're going to have a lot of assets.
How many wallets you got, Troy?
On which chain?
30 or 40 or more. What chain? Actually,
what chain? What wallet?
He's a Sybil resistance extraordinaire.
Well, it's not important, but the thing is that if you're going to like say degen into, even if it's just like that mint was not it didn't turn out well. I got 1,000 of those. To take 100 of those and put them into 100 different wallets and just leave it there and don't even because farming for airdrops is always going to be a thing until it's not going to be a thing. Personally, I think just like Casey says that Bitcoin and runes and BRCs are going to fucking end all crypto besides Bitcoin. And
runes are going to end all crypto. That's what you think.
No,
okay.
He jokes about that, yeah. But yeah, I think that's your best bet if you're going to be a farming for airdrops kind of person and stuff like that.
But also there is a thing where like there has to be a certain number, like amount of volume, right? And sometimes there's multipliers, so you can do your best. Ultimately, like, yeah, I don't know. Either spend a lot of time in it or just live your life and hope that your activity is enough to qualify.
Well, no, I would say that. Well, that's the problem. It's like right now, there's VC money will come in, and oftentimes they'll say, okay, great, we need to get people onto the platform. How to get people onto the platform? You incentivize an airdrop. Look at all our DAUs. I can make more DAUs if I say use our platform. What happens? The VCs who are then raising more money say, we took money at this valuation. Look at all the people that now are using it. Now we're this valuation. right? And guess what? That is work. They can get more money from it. So it's like as long as there's VC money, it can keep like looping in this way until all the VCs get burned or no platforms actually come out of it, right? The question is, are any of these platforms going to be used long term? So like we have one here, right? Dota. Like Dota 2 is with Portal. That is
Hey,
crazy.
do you want to hear a spicy meme?
Let's hear it.
Valve doesn't have cryptocurrency games. Cryptocurrency games are banned on Valve.
Yeah, Valve has been publicly against crypto,
Publicly
Web3.
against
So
crypto.
they came out with a tease before this one, and they were using Dota 2 characters, and it was like, all right, well, that's pretty risky to like put Valve-owned characters in that trailer, and then this came out, and this is if anyone knows about this game, I'm vegan. This is.
Oh,
like,
I play it. No, I've
this
never
is
played
like,
it,
yeah.
but some of my friends, this is all they play all day,
It's
and they
really
say
hard.
you got to get into it, man. I play it every day for 12 hours a day, and I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I'm not going to.
And so what were we talking about
That's
earlier?
exactly why.
Yeah.
I'm not playing it.
But the idea of like if there was any company, you were saying this earlier, Began, if there was any company that was going to move into the space and like understand how community works and how do you support indie devs, it's definitely Valve. I mean, they invented the model, right? And so I think if this is like the first step towards that company being okay and playing nice with blockchain-based games, that's like out of this world.
But it's like exactly. It's like so. Portal had a bunch of different people like farming their airdrop, and it was controversial because they had people doing social media posts to make them more popular. This got a bunch of people saying, "Oh my God, what will this coin possibly do?" They dropped the coin. Dota Valve was like, "Whoa, people are really seeming to respond to this. Let's incorporate it in the game." It worked. They tricked everyone. They got people. It's working, right? If all of a sudden people in Dota 2 for this tournament make a bunch of Portal and they sell that Portal for money, they might like Portal in the future. So it's like, I don't know, this airdrop thing, I think if it's a bull, it's going to keep going, right? And I'm trying to tell myself to not be stupid and use the same MetaMask wallet I've been using, which will never get an airdrop. Going in OpenSea and buying NFTs, they will never drop us anything, okay?
I have
You need to get my loyalty from now
I've
on.
heard that OpenSea activity will qualify for Magic
No.
Eden.
Oh, there you go. I like
they're
that.
gonna
That's
buy
a vampire
okay.
tag.
And
That
guess
would be
what? And guess
smart.
what?
That
Guess
would
what?
be smart.
I've heard that too, but guess what? Magic Eden better say it. If you use Magic Eden, double it, okay? Double
Well,
it.
yeah. And honestly, I have to have a word with them because I was going
Magic
to set
Eden?
up.
You should call them.
Which
I'm going-
Get him on the
part of-
phone.
Which chain of Magic Eden?
No, because I was going to set up their wallet. And so you go, like now that it's out of the beta, right? Like normal people can set it up. So I was going to make a tutorial and you go, you set it up you do a password and then it's like, do you want to claim your collectible? And if you hit yes, it's like you need Solana. You can either add a credit card or like do another address. That is so big, and that is the UI before like
massive.
properly doing your seed phrase. That made me mad. And I'm like, I know you're trying to give us free money with this wallet, but this is not responsible.
I do like a wallet that says, before your seed phrase, give us your credit card info.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. Give us
how much free money are we actually getting
Exactly,
if that's the play? That's
They're going to
that's
say
all
you get a
I'm saying.
multiplier if you put your credit card info before your
Yeah.
seed phrase. You're like, okay, I'm doing the multiplier. Okay. So we'll see. This stuff is still happening. I don't even know what the next airdrop is. I'm using so many random things. I just go to my DGen chats every time I go, I need to trade some money from this to that. What are you guys farming this day? And it's always, there's a new one. I'm like, whatever it is, just make sure you're using DGen wallets and not signing up to a wallet that has a bunch of, puppets or something like that. So
There are a couple of people that farm for people.
Oh, for sure.
Which is, if you don't have time and you're into that, they
How
do
many
it
are you
above
paying
board.
right now, Troy?
I
Just tell
don't.
us.
I just
tell us.
Let me get a number.
I don't. I just hear things.
You just hear things. Just people tell
But I'm telling. They're out
It's
there.
farmers for farmers.
What cut are they taking?
Yeah, what's the cut?
I think
10,
it's pretty good for the
15,
work.
20?
I will give someone literally like 80%
Dude,
to
they're-
farm.
they're-
Like,
Oh my
I just want a little bit.
Someone
Like,
Okay,
please
we're-
take her up on that.
Just don't, if you don't miss any, right? What's the hit
There's
rate?
a couple of friends of mine that literally just farm all day. They don't care about like other things, and it's
those
like
are the richest
It's like a
friends you
sad
have.
hunter. They just want to do that thing, and they do that well. And some people that they just want to. They love farming. They just love doing that. To me,
Some
I
people
just
are
like-
born to farm.
I'd rather build stuff, and 100x on myself and the people that I'm working with,
So
kind of
you
thing.
told
That's
us
me.
to ask you for the alpha. We're asking who are your friends.
I won't say it now, but they're sometimes.
Will you
they
tell
say-
us after the show? Can you put me in
Yeah.
Are
touch?
the
Okay,
friends
that's why you
in
come
the
live.
room? Are the friends in the room with us right now?
They're not here right now.
Put me in touch.
They're busy farming.
Okay,
They can't come to IRL.
Thank you for the ordinals today.
Well, so that that is something to look at. It's a tough time right now because remember in earlier bull markets there was less stuff going on, right? I remember watching the drop of the day every day. We all got together, we watched the drop, we were in the Discord. It was a great time. The whole space was there. Now there's it's like the drop of the day. The Solana drop, the Say drop, the
It's
E
so
drop,
much.
Yeah,
And
you can't
and
keep
don't
up with
even-
all of them.
Don't
Too
even
much,
get
too
started
much.
on what's like pumping on meme coins because that's a whole different
Oh,
conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have a team for each section, each niche of crypto.
Do you guys, Joe Bowden?
Of course.
Okay, I saw
Odin.
that call and I was like, I don't even know what my Phantom Wallet password is. I got my shit together and I 2x'd on Hillary Clinton and the ticker was clit and like that was all I needed. Thank you for my 0.2 soul.
I'm down bad on my RFK.
Hey, that's a decent amount of money now. That's more than a burger.
Frank put out a great tweet last night. I think it was last night I was going to bed, and it was about, you're conditioned to get these, most of us, or half of us, get these farmed airdrops or whatever like that, or a farmed, or a token airdrop. And then you go, thanks for the free money. And in that thank you, it's like you're telling the company that did that for you, like fuck you, we're just gonna dump it, which is going to like be a hole in the ship for long term for any of these kind of drops or most of them to have legs for the future. Kind of thing.
I saw that tweet and I thought it was a good one, but at the same time, if you are a company, right, like incentivize people to hold. What are you doing that is value? Because otherwise,
Very good.
Yes, it is free money that one you also have to pay taxes on, so you're gonna have to sell some off in the beginning.
Yeah.
But two, like it kind of goes both ways. Like if you are doing a token just to get hype, because there's definitely people that do that. And I mean,
like 99% of people.
right.
Well, like right now, so you see, like Pac-Man and Blast, that's exactly what they're doing. They're saying if you take your money out in 14 days, you lose your points, you don't get your multiplier, all this stuff. They're saying you have to keep stuff inside. So some people are exploring these mechanisms and giving bonuses and multipliers, and we'll keep seeing that.
I sold most of my ape coin at 27. But
What?
Like,
only you.
but I do think that like they did incentivize, right? The staking. People did really well with that. And I was like, do I feel like buying it back? I don't know. I'm not good at math. I forget about things a lot. But I do think like when there's actual uses for these tokens.
Yeah. I do have to say with Ape Coin, because that company has become a conglomerate, especially with the latest acquisition. It's just so spread out. And, to me, I always thought like, hey, just keep your Mickey Mouse in the front rather than like Pudgy does. And now you don't really, like apes aren't really a thing. It's more like of a company that owns a bunch of things. So I don't even know, even the Ape DAO doesn't even know what to do. And they turn down a lot of great projects that I've seen come through, and we don't even know what they want. But I'd say the best meme coin in the whole
God,
space.
here he comes. Here he comes.
Let's go.
Here's the ticker.
That's
Two.
No,
One.
like one of the best meme coins besides like there's a bunch out there that does well and that keeps you holding.
Oh, come on.
I'm telling you right now.
What's the ticker?
It's actually called Meme Coin by Meme Land. I'm telling you.
Oh, there we go.
Like it's actually not boring. It pays my rent and then some every month. It just
because he shills like this. Okay, good
no,
job.
it does.
Okay,
I'm just saying like
It's the most passive aggressive shill I've ever heard.
Dude, the way they dropped it, they dropped 16%. That's it, and it's all locked in, and they trickle it out, and it just ends up in your wallet, and you just can go buy little tiny Lambos that you can just fit 1 foot in.
Yeah, but Memeland is
Every
like
month.
directly attached to
Uh-huh.
It is.
like, the project.
It's a
Like-
focused
Wait,
project.
yeah,
Is what my point is it's not as focused as the apes are in their
Well,
ecosystems.
Yeah, but a lot of NFT projects, a lot of projects on and respectfully ordinals will go to 99% of them will fail, just like most coins, right?
For
Most
sure.
of them are just trying to get like a ton of money and bounce. So it really is ultimately, are they actually going to learn and produce something for the holders? If not, people
Do they
are going
want
to
to?
dump.
Yeah,
Do
hold
they
on,
want
hold on.
to?
So
Do they
that's
want to
the
be
thing.
around
That's
in
the
a
thing.
year?
They don't.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I do
Most
want to have a
don't.
counterpoint to that is that ordinals are inscribed on sats. Sats will never be completely valueless, so they might not go to zero.
It's always a hundredth of a
Yeah,
trillion,
well,
a hundredth of a millionth of a
If
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is $1 zillion because inflation is so high that like it is $1 zillion. Look, I don't fucking know. I'm not good at math, but I also think that a lot of the teams that deliver the most utility, like people don't actually like utility. They just like selling the news.
As someone who has a
All you have to
project
do
that
is never
just builds
deliver.
and ships,
Stop.
I can
I
utility.
will fight for Meme Land here in a second, only because of the Ponzi.
That's
Listen,
fucking
No, Trey, you're allowed to if you do one thing. What's the bag? Give us the rundown quickly.
What's the top five? Top five.
What's the bag?
Yeah, what's your bag?
What's my bag?
Yeah, what's your bag
Any
in
bag.
Meme Land? You're allowed to tell us. You're
If
allowed to
there were
show.
a
You just have
bag.
to say, I own this many. Like when Rosenbaum says like Fidenza is the greatest art ever, he has to say
I own
one Fidenza.
I mean, I own 5 captains and 16 potatoes.
Let's go.
Jesus Christ!
No wonder. Oh my God.
What are you mad at me
Baller.
for?
I'm so
Everybody
happy. I'm so
in
happy.
here since 2 years ago to
Facts.
buy
I'm
fucking
bringing
did.
everyone
He did.
and
70.
nobody listens
Yeah, he
to
did.
one of the most loving
Guys,
people
apes are the best
in
project.
fucking
I only have
ecosystem.
10 apes and 20 mutants. Other side's the best game. I only have 20 other sides.
I have nothing, which is why I throw parties.
Okay. We don't know what's going to happen next. These coins, well, I think we're going to keep seeing it. If the bull keeps happening right now, I think it's going to keep going. We're going to keep seeing the various airdrops and meme stuff happen.
over.
With the State of the Union.
It's over? You think the bull's over?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
It's over.
No. We hit.
It's bleeding.
The bull's bleeding.
Transcended crypto Twitter.
Okay, so maybe let's go. When I was leaving Denver, actually, we got footage of it. I think me and Rosenbaum going to the airport after Ord Denver, very, very tired. We filmed Bitcoin hitting all-time high, watching it go, and it was a real nice thing. Really nice.
It was tickling us for a minute,
It
right?
was torture.
Oh man,
People
were like sweating.
I watched it for so many hours, and Rosenbaum was like, "I'm going to sleep," and I'm like, "This is great. Look at me, I'm having so much fun." And he's like, "This is so unfun, dude. You fucking weirdo." But with that, like, I'm not saying it's because of Ord Denver, right? I'm saying it might have a reason for it, okay? But we did go there and hear about a bunch of different new stuff. I mean, maybe people are wearing a lot more orange these days. I'm seeing it on the streets. No, but
This
going
is a
there,
this is a rental.
Going there, we
Yeah,
did
so
hear
is mine.
like the
Jen's like,
narrative.
here, take this. I need it back.
I
That's my
have to
son's.
get them. I have to get them to people. I'm gonna get more.
If you
No,
want
you're
to talk
the
to Jen.
best.
Okay,
No,
so
you're
here's
the
the thing. Going to Ord Denver, I just knew I'm going to go meet some crazy people. I hear some narratives. There's ordinals, whatever, Bitcoin's back, etc. However, going there, talking to a lot of nerds, deep in depth, definitely a bunch of different things came up. I was not on, like by the second day, I was like, oh my God, people will not stop goddamn talking about programmable BRC20s and BRC20s being back and all these things. And it was like, oh, I didn't even know this is part of the narrative. I was all in runes. So I think a lot of us went there, and all of a sudden when we left, you're like, it's a different topic. So I kind of want to go over what was the stuff that was surprising that you heard about. What do you think that was kind of bullshit?
Isn't there an
talking
upgrade
about?
coming? Named after the city you were just in?
Wait, say it again.
Isn't there an upgrade coming named after the city you were just in?
Denver?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know about this. Am I that stupid?
Oh,
What
Denver?
happened?
ETH upgrade, right?
There's an the next ETH upgrade is Denver.
I don't know. An ETH
No.
upgrade's coming.
Bullish.
Bullish. Okay, I'm in.
What
Yeah,
the
next-
merge with the purge?
So I'm saying, so one thing, like the BRC20 was a good example, right? That was the first like shitcoins on Bitcoin, right? There was a big pump then, and then things kind of went down, no big deal, and then we're all waiting for runes. However, 1,000 people started building right when they came out, and now that stuff is finally getting done because building on Bitcoin is hard.
Yeah, because with Omnisat, right, and that was obviously one of the producers of this event, but I started working with them in May, and it was all of us in a house together. And first of all, it is a public good, decentralized product. All of you guys can contribute, but it was just a bunch of us in a house, and we had this idea. I'm not a builder. I'm not smart enough to do any of this. But what I saw really quickly was, one, all of these smartest people that I know, running over to Bitcoin and building, but two, there is no basic infrastructure. And so all of these competing companies are building, we had multiple, everyone was calling it testnet Denver. Multiple of our sponsors are on testnet. And you kind of have competitors working together to build these things that are needed for innovation in the space, and it doesn't happen overnight. And so, yeah, I think you're going to see this a little bit of a delay, but at the same time, when you look at where Bitcoin has been and innovation since 2010 until now, it's crazy where we're at, and there are so many people that are so close, and from that point, it's going to be a whole different explosion. So we'll see what happens with BRC20s versus runes. But there is definitely a lot being built for BRC20s that I think will be utilized for both.
I was going to say, Brightfield, you were there. You're talking to not just Bitcoin maxis. You know what I mean? You talked to them for a little bit here. What was the things that was most exciting that you saw?
One of them, excuse me.
He went to eat. You can hear. You can hear. You can hear.
I'd say one of the most exciting things I saw was the Bitcoin people talking to the ETH people, the Solana people, everyone just interacting. There wasn't a lot of this chain maximalism happening. There was actually a lot of openness, and I think that was really, really encouraging.
No, totally. Well, it's funny that I feel like Bitcoin and Solana people have this unlikely friendship, and I did talk to a bunch of people about it because we both program in Rust. Rust is a cult, right? I'm in the cult, and every time I'm like, Solana, oh, well, let me see your stack. Let's see what's going on. Oh, you're Bitcoin. What's going on? You're friends like instantly, and then you're both underdogs in a weird way. And I think because that underdog story, it's kind of like this is their conference. We're both invading the main conference, which so I don't know. I definitely agree with that a lot. There you go. I got multiple drinks for you. You got multiple drinks. Look at that. It's Jerry, the producer here. Troy, you went there already fully ordinal pilled. He's left ETH altogether. He's abandoned his friends. He's burned his NFTs over there. Teleburned them. Like he sees his ETH friends. I've watched him like walk by them and be like, who are you? No. Oh, I don't. Oh, do you have a puppet? You have a monk?
No,
you don't. Okay.
No, actually, to his point, thanks, Beacon, for the layup. But to his point, I think 2021 and PFP started becoming a trend. A lot of people started identifying with these things that were making them money in 2021, and then and some people might be introverted and they've never identified with anything, and this has been the biggest thing, and they're like, I'm with these PFPs and I'm with these, and I think what's happening this year is that's withering away. In a way, like, yeah, people still have online joking fights and troll, like, I'm a puppet or I'm an OMB and you suck and traders trade and collectors collect. And I get all that. But when people buy a ticket to go to an event, whether it's around the world or the country, they're not going there to be a dick. They're putting their best. Most people in the herd mentality in an event is like when people come here, there are no dicks that come here. You don't act like dicks when you're here. It's just very positive. So that's what I see. Like there's a lot of artists, there's a lot of different people, photographers, and I don't know what anybody's bags are and what they buy or NFTs. And that's what I see when I'm going to these places.
Okay, Troy, like we know that you get information. You're on stuff early. It drives me crazy.
Yeah,
you're
so
always,
go ahead. Just ask me.
You got some new shit. What was the shit when someone said, hey, you got some alpha. You got to give it to us, okay?
When I got there, I brought my laptop and I sat down at the big table in the main dining room right next to Butoshi, and I was trading some things, and I forgot what they were, and they were a bunch of things, and I wanted to make sure I flipped them, and so I can have a good time. When I remember, I'll let you know. But a lot of the stuff is like runes are coming out. Runestone is dropping tomorrow at 9 a.m. our time. So if you have any wallets that are like Runestone is going to be fucking huge, fair launch, and that's going to be big, and I'm looking forward to that. Ordinal Sigma is dropping next week. That is Hantoshi and fucking Rabbi Gaines' project.
So good.
Yeah, that's an animated. It's the largest animated PFP collection. I don't know how I can help, but that's what that is. Other than that, there are things coming in all the time, and they're usually just great things. There are degen mints and stuff like that. There is a new. If you haven't heard of DMT token or DMT standard,
I know DMT. There's a token.
I know you do because like he knows a lot about ordinals more than a lot of ordinal people do because he's a great researcher, and he also produces the Ordinals Are Dead show. Plug. And he thanks sorry. Is that get me back on track because I had something here. So
DMT.
DMT. There is a okay, so I know this person, and there is a new DMT standard that's coming out in a couple of days that is going to destroy how DMTs are minted, and DMT projects right now are just fucking printing on Bitcoin. And the great thing about it is they come with great, fun, little memeable art. So it's not just coins and stuff like that. And it's just super fun, man. And while we're building our projects and doing the good fight to get our own projects out there, this subsists and helps out your communities that are coming into ordinals and stuff like that. Very sorry.
Well, no.
Am I answering your questions?
No, that was close. We got new DMT, whatever. When someone says DMT,
Yeah,
new
you gotta
protocol.
Get that DMT. Get on that DMT train.
Yeah, I know a lot of things. I'm just like I'm stultified right now about
Troy, the protocol is so much less interesting than DMT.
Oh, yeah.
Which protocol?
I want to give some alpha.
All right, we got some Jen. What you got?
And I'm not just saying this because they sponsored our event, but literally all of our sponsors, like a lot of them I was meeting and hearing about like their projects for the first time while setting up this event. But some of the coolest like protocols, companies, builders, and like people that really every single sponsor like was there above and beyond. So I know I like tagged them all in the list, and I'm not going to go through everyone right now, but like they're all building such cool things. And then the even cooler thing is how much collaboration came out of that house. So I think a lot of people that we're putting this random sponsor chat together. Now there's so many that are like, yes, we're working together. Like, this was awesome. And no one really knew what like anyone was doing. And yeah, I think I would just, all of them I would follow, keep an eye on. And it's not all just layer 1 Bitcoin. There's a little bit of everything.
Layer 2 is the hottest topic.
Yeah.
I heard it 1 trillion times.
Yeah.
Like that was, I don't care about layer 2s at all before this. Still don't, except for they've told me so many things. But yeah, I will say like a bunch of like the layer 2 stuff or programmable BRC20s or everything they're building on top.
Botanics is EVM. What's the word? It's like not compatible. It's like adjacent or something.
Adjacent.
No, it's not that. But it like literally is like
Sidechain?
I don't know. It's good for
sidechain.
ETH. No. On
was.
Bitcoin, but it's like EVM. I'll look up the exact word. I'm so sorry. They're fucking awesome. All
Equivalent. There we go.
equivalent.
Maybe.
Yes.
But no, I'm
Yes.
saying so one thing I always notice is because we're watching the space a bunch. Like we've seen a bunch of these patterns happen in ETH before, and every time I talk to my ordinal friends who are just printing money, especially the ones that weren't involved in the scene before, they're talking about it's a brand new thing, and it's like we had that before. It's another new thing.
I know.
We had that before.
We have to just do it.
But it's okay. One thing I heard there was a lot of people saying, I'm building technology right now that will enable more of those metas to be repeated. And so it's like, we are like once, like there's going to be 1,000 metas that we were all involved in back in the day that are going to be so hot on Bitcoin. So if you already did the ETH model, it's just got to not be an old boomer who's like, we already did this and it failed. It's going to work again.
Yeah.
Like the
Well,
Zoomers
do it
do
on-
it.
do it again on
Get
Bitcoin.
It's just
out-
happening
get
faster,
out
though.
before it fails on Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But also, I think a lot of these people, right? Like LFG, one of the people I know from Discord, and like they have a .eth, and then I got connected with someone else from their company. I'm like, are you the same LFG as this person? Like, we were talking last night, and they're like, .eth? No. And then like they realized it was, right? I was like, oh, sorry, I did not see it was an ETH person. But
Don't
they're
say that here.
They're awesome. They're brilliant, and what they're building is super cool. And really like, yeah, a lot of people have been around for a long time, right? And one of the biggest like pieces of feedback that we got, which makes me so happy, is like, this reminds me of like old Bitcoin days when Bitcoin events were like good, or like, and I think a lot of these people have been around for so long and they've built on other chains because that's where building was happening. But like Bitcoin is the ultimate for them, right? And I think a lot of us feel that way, where it's like we want to be intentional. There's only so much room, there's only so much space. Like I've definitely taken my time with things because I'm like, it has to be just right. And I think that energy was reflected. But yeah, seriously, like every single one of our sponsors was so amazing, and I'm like, I need to go down the rabbit hole. Like ordinal miners, like they did a brunch, and he was like, let's call it hash browns and hash rates. First of all, I tried to send that out on Partyful, and it was like, this is against federal law. I was like, I just got censored saying the word hash brown, okay? But
You
we
are
were
in
trying
Denver.
to set it up to literally cook the hash browns with Bitcoin miners, coming soon. But like, that's so fucking cool, right? Like everyone is just awesome and knows what they're doing and good people. So I would say follow all of them, Alpha.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I did a space today with like ETH people. You know, asked it was scheduled, and it was just
Trader?
great. No, it was just great. You know, a lot of people, you know, like spill the NFT at this cool girl. She was just like, I got burned one time. I minted something, and she just got emotional about it and just never returned. And you know, that's happened to probably most of us here. And then you don't return to that thing. And I think you have to examine and identify that isolate that moment. And if you're like going to mess around on a new chain, especially ordinals, is that, you know, like people are very open. It's more gateway there than gatekeepy. And people are ready to help. There's, you know, Cypherpunk's lab is a not-for-profit. They don't just take anybody, but they will help your project literally if it is important with intent and it needs some technical boundaries that it needs to sort of surpass and meet. They will help you. Like, it's really a fucking cool place to be. And I say OmniSat, this is Jen's project that she's part with some of my other friends. I've used that, and it's pretty fucking cool how you can swap BRCs on there really
Which ones
cleanly.
we swap?
We are testnet
What's the
only.
ticker?
I actually swapped with Bunsey. We had a call. He was videotaping it because he was trying to do some content for it. This is a couple months ago, so he can roll out.
Just what's the ticker?
And we just swapped three. We swapped 3 tokens.
BTC.
We swapped OXBT,
OXBT,
which
yeah.
was BitGod's token, which he gave over to the community, and then Domo's token. I think it was Domo, and then another one. I forget
So
what it was.
I have a full tutorial thread on this, and I want to be really clear that none of these are real tokens. They are all testnet versions of BRC20s. And
Yeah, it was all
so the
testnets.
data that they pull in is the same as like on mainnet, but because you can only get a ticker once, if people had started on testnet, it wouldn't be possible. So it's not an exact, but I do have a full list. We do have some cool new features we're rolling out right before mainnet, so get involved on testnet.
Yeah, and I would also say the alpha with like having like a person that developed a canvas and with the core team like Raf to develop like ordinal theory that we can play on. He's also the same guy that will post a picture of an animated guy sucking its own cock like and wear a Viking.
That's
costume.
what you want from a dev.
I'm just saying like that's like funny to me.
So much
and
money.
That's not somebody who's just trying to be too serious.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's alpha to me. That's like I want to hang out there. Like I don't need to hang out with him, but I just like the guy's already funny. It's ironic. Life is full of irony, and my friends are there. And who doesn't want to play and gamble with their friends and build fun projects and give alpha to people?
I was gonna say, like,
You know what I haven't heard once since like Ordinal's back a year ago are long-term Bitcoin people looking at the ETH ecosystem during the last bull and saying that they're learning from it. Do you think, I mean, like, to me, it all just feels like 2021 again.
Yeah, 100%.
On a different chain. Like, we can talk about all the differences. There are plenty, but the reality is it's just fucking same thing. It's going to be the same and slightly different, right? And we're seeing that. But, like, I never hear long-term Bitcoin maxis talk about, like, you know what, I really studied the ETH, like, all the ETH NFTs and all the things that were happening.
They don't have to.
Well,
No,
but why don't they
no,
have to? They should. is
No,
what
I'm
saying.
against it. No. If
No,
this
I'm
It
saying
would give you some alpha for sure.
when maybe get some alpha. The problem is and I see this so many times with all my friends. You look at the old days, you go, I know how this ends. I'm not even gonna get involved.
And it's different.
You need that young, like, I don't care. It's a revolution. It's different.
Also, the amount of
But
things
just get
I've
out.
faded because I know how it ends. No,
Exactly.
Know where to get out, but get in.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like,
The
it's much better
unscarred.
the second time.
But I'm saying
than
the
it's first
unscarred are making the most
Sometimes.
money.
Sometimes.
A bunch of people are traumatized. Actually, I think I had it on one
I've
of these,
sold
like,
the bottom of
PTSD.
everything on Ordinal.
That's a great quote.
look at everyone has PTSD and wondering how long we pump. I thought it was like a good little, like, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah,
people,
that's a good
the,
take.
the new ones are like, we're going up forever. And so I'm
Yeah,
gambling
no.
all the money I'm making. And it's like, another win, another win, another win. And we're like, I'm being conservative over here. I know how
Right.
it ends and making $0 fucking dollars,
Yeah.
right? So I think you need that young attitude. I'm looking at people and saying, I'm the old boomer. And I keep saying, we already did this. And they go, great. How much money did you make on it? None. Like,
When
I'm making
my
money now.
North
yeah.
friends fully start hitting me up, like that's when I know, okay, this is top. When they're like, okay, we're ready now. They're still not there. They're still making fun of me for the most part. They're like, oh, we already threw a fun party. We'll come to a crypto party now. But like, they still don't want to buy crypto. And we passed all-time highs this week, right? Like, that to me is actually pretty good. Like, I feel like my family is still like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's all fake, right? When they start being like, oh, okay, you're buying dinner tonight.
but
That's
also
when.
Give it 18 months.
We also hit all-time highs, and the ordinal projects kept going up. What happened to the ETH projects? More gutting. Pudgy's down. Apes under fucking 20.
yeah, but
you
doesn't
know?
Bitcoin always lead?
No. But before it was Bitcoin
Yeah.
lead, there weren't
That's what I'm
fucking.
saying.
Yeah,
there
Bitcoin-
wasn't art on there though. Now it's
Bitcoin
like they
leads.
both
like,
win.
do people
I
really
mean-
think
Yeah,
that
his
ETH
point is-
NFTs are dead? Talk to
No.
me in 6 months, and it's going like
I'm-
it's
I'm-
going to
but
follow
I'm
the
not buying-
pattern.
But I'm
6
not buying
months.
yet. I sold a bunch of shit, and I'm like,
I'm not
gonna
saying to buy
this
anything.
back.
I'm just saying I
gonna
think
buy
it's
this
gonna
back
follow it.
later. But I do think, right? We'll see though, and
it's
I wonder how, like, honestly, the ETFs are going to affect like this cycle. because-
BlackRock bought 10,200 Bitcoin 2 days ago on the dip.
Right.
The dip they
Buy the
created.
dip.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. All right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Dip
what.
that they yeah.
Oh, come on.
Look,
no, I know.
I
Yeah,
sold
yeah.
the top and bought the dip just to feel something.
There we go.
No. Stop.
You're alive.
It's an
You're alive.
honor. It's an honor to sell at 69. Okay. It is
Yeah.
literally. It's
I felt
on
like
chain.
I had to. I'm like so delirious post Ord Denver. I was like, I gotta just have this one sip.
I sent that scammer money just to feel something. I knew I was doing
Yeah,
it on
exactly. I
purpose.
mean, that's how it is. Here.
Yeah.
I got you.
Zion, you got something? Nope, you're good. Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. For me, if I'm coming back here, I'm actually looking at what am I going to do, my most investigations too. I think that there's a lot of people who were talking the technical stuff on top of Bitcoin. I got to be honest, I'm going to look at some of it, but I'm definitely following like degen culture more so, meaning that, like,
Puppets.
Yeah, like whatever puppets are doing. But I'm saying, there's a new DMT protocol. I am looking at that more than someone saying this is going to scale up Bitcoin.
Really?
Here's how. Yes, I am. That's why
I love that.
You're gonna know it very fast. And
So-
Yeah, you gotta follow the narrative.
So Began,
For all the fun.
because you actually got to talk to everyone.
Oh, I talked to all the nerds.
most,
You
yeah.
did.
What is your one takeaway?
Okay, so the best thing I actually heard, and we're going to clip this here, is I got to talk to Raf. Raf is the #2 ordinal dev, right? If you go to the actual commits, who is writing the code, it's Raf. He's also in person. Very smart, awesome nerd, writing Rust, split keyboard, cool as fuck, right? We're talking about this rune stuff. Where's it going to go?
made that
Literally.
it's cool.
No, I asked him what key where he goes, oh, split, it's so much better. Blah. He started giving the, I'm like, I know the pitch,
He's
bro.
the
That's me.
nicest.
That's me. We're the
I'm
same.
so
my
glad
hands.
you met him.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you met him.
So super cool. But then we're talking about runes, and we're talking about like, okay, well, what about this versus that? How do you think about it? And he said this, and I was like, oh, hot damn, that's it. He's like, runes, like in Ordinals, what we're doing, we're an entertainment company. We're making entertainment. And I thought that was the most beautiful, refreshing thing to hear from the smartest people there, right? Ordinal theory, this whole crazy ordinal thing was made by Casey. If you guys have read the ordinal theory white paper, it's fucking gorgeous. Like literally. Before this flip popped off, I was like, it's beautiful. They keep thinking about better ideas on top. They said, okay, BRC20s, what if shitcoins were more elegant? It's like, damn, that's good. And like, they made a better name for it. The tech is more elegant behind it. Very interesting. From there, they say, well, how are you going to interact with these? How do you treat these? Are they saying, we're going to change the world? They're like, no, we're going to make some fun shit. That is the most bullish, insane thing I've ever heard.
That's how you
And
do it.
That's art. It's art for it's joy for joy's sake.
exactly. And they
fucking punk
They
rock.
are fun. Exactly. They are fun, technical people making fun.
And they don't pretend to be anything they're not, right?
Yeah.
Like in Miami, I like went up and like grilled Casey, and he was like, I honestly don't have an answer. And like Raph was like, there is no answer. And I was like, that's cool. Like I can live with that. You're not trying to sell something that like does not exist.
Yeah, I mean, I said it like earlier, going back to the images and the Viking hat that he wears during the Hell Money podcast. Like, I want to follow that guy, and we do. And he's just like, the people there are just pure. And the literal, you said follow degens. I mean, Puppets literally caused Leap and Thread Guide to do the space separately that had to revolve around that thing. It wasn't like important projects, and even OMB, which is like a movement, which is severely like, it's like a fucking pinnacle project. But it's just very interesting that you have these important kind of thoughtful things, and then you have just these fun things that balance it. And I think Raf and people like Casey and the people that are under them, they get that. It's just pure, simple. He even called them artisanal shitcoins before he called them runes.
That's great.
Which is a fucking...
I love that. Oh,
he
what a
knows
good
it.
name.
He calls it a gambling entertainment. He calls Bitcoin that. But even
to do that,
Yeah, go ahead.
the culture that is building, and that's what I really do love. Like, well, I mean, whatever. I'm very passionate about OMB. I've got 0. I'm never going to be able to afford any. Oh my god. So I'm very.
Not with that
should
attitude.
have one.
I'm
Not
very.
that
Oh,
one.
trust me. My
We should
depression
all
is.
have
I'm
one.
hitting levels of depression you don't even understand. I'm drawing my own OMBs
You know
and like
what?
coloring the eyes in. I've got purple eyes right now. It's sad, but. I will say, when you look at all the projects that are popular or like the art behind them, there is an aesthetic that is Bitcoin only. That has nothing to do with ETH. It is different.
Oh,
a bunch
it's
of
so
ETH
political,
MFers come
too.
over.
Those orange eyes are brilliant.
The orange eye,
Like,
exactly.
They're fucking brilliant.
But it's like they are making, there is an aesthetic, there's a world that is their world that they don't want to do the repeat of the ETH stuff, at least aesthetically. And you can see that they're rejecting people coming over. Guess what? No one cares what the early Bitcoin apes minted on. Back in the day, that was the meta. There's a new chain, put some apes on there. We're rich, right?
I mean,
no one gives a fuck about them,
I
right? And
love
they're
the
early.
copy pasta's dead.
To be fair, you know, Bitcoin punks are definitely a thing, and that's
Yeah, well, that's because punks are different.
yeah. But we do know what one of the first runes is. We've had that been told.
Forgotten runes?
No,
Got it.
ordinal,
Thank you.
one of the first 10 runes that in the
Had to do
protocol.
it.
I didn't forget.
We
about
had
that.
our first-
I didn't
We didn't
forget
forget.
about
We didn't
that.
If
forget.
anyone wants to hear it.
Wait, which one?
Kara, go.
They're coming
what
out
is
of
it?
the shadows.
I'm
It's
excited.
the U.S. dollar.
That's the
It
first.
has an unlimited supply, and you can mint it forever. That's all.
Wait, go deeper. What are you talking about here? Let's hear.
That's
I
it.
don't
We got
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage in the front
Everyone
row
should go
explaining
to
this
the
to us.
or-
Like, wait,
Yeah.
the U.S. dollar is the first rune.
US
I will go
dollar is
through
the
every
first
dollar bill
rune.
and find the secrets.
The
Like,
Stop
Ordicord,
paying on the dollars.
the
Claire
Ordicord
Salva.
Ordinals Coding Club is the biggest alpha.
That actually
like
is.
True.
literally the biggest alpha.
Yeah, I will say, if you guys
Yeah,
don't know, the ordinal devs actually code lot. I actually asked, I was like, Raph, Well, first of all, he told me he started Rust for ordinals, which is psycho. It's the world's hardest language. And I'm like, you are working on like the biggest thing worth the most money. It's your first time. And he's like, Casey's a great teacher. And we do the teaching live. And it's like, you can watch a guy learn how to code a language that is changing the world. And you can just sit in on the lessons.
Yeah.
It's wild.
For free. If you want to go to the order cord, and also like what you do is you go to the space that he starts. He doesn't talk there. He just wants to see the output there. And then you go into the order cord and you just watch them, and it's a class, and they like that. I think they like content too, and I think it's important that they share that.
All right, so I think the wrap up is no matter what, we took over Ord Denver. That was one event, very successful.
Oh,
Good job, guys.
Yeah, good job, Jen. Everyone give her a round of applause real fast.
It was really cool to
Thank
see
you.
the LA crew sort
yes,
of be at the center of the
But
conversation.
now we've
They did
done
great.
something. We took the show on the road. I carried 5 microphones in my bag and a camera and all this random ass shit.
You know that I didn't make it back from our house, so I had to have someone break into the house that I was staying at, and I was like, my camera is wrapped in a red fur coat under.
Sometimes you got to break into your own house for things, okay? The key is, though, we figured out we can take it on the road. There's more stuff coming here, okay? There's NFT NYC. People are going to be here for, what is it called? What do we call it in LA?
Outer Edge LA.
Is that even
Outer
a
Edge.
thing?
Hey,
Is that
you know
a
what?
thing?
NFT LA.
Is that a
I thought the
thing?
name changed.
All right.
There's
We're
NFT
in
Lisbon.
LA. There's
Wait.
no thing in LA. Like, what the fuck?
We're doing an
Take care of it.
look. There's gonna be a lot of Ord Denver follow-ups
Yes.
in the next few days, few weeks. Stay tuned.
For Los Angeles?
Ord LA.
I'm not saying anything from
So
here.
can
She
I
said
but
it. She
I'm-
said it.
Can I
I
say
gotta
something
go.
about Outer Edge?
It's 1 minute past. I said I was leaving.
We're
at 8.
gonna close out here in a second, but real quick shout out, because if you guys are looking at this picture here, I just want to give this man some recognition.
Vegan.
This
vegan.
this
Sat there
basement
for a
that
long
you
time.
see here with the green screen, right? This was the rave room every night, but every morning of the Ord Mansion, Big and I would set up for this makeshift IRL alpha, and I'm not kidding you. We did not sleep the entire 3 days. There was 0 hours of sleep between Jen, myself, Big God, all of us, Troy. None of us slept, right? So we would get up, right when we're done partying around 7 a.m. and set up this little makeshift. Makeshift.
They went from the My Lady
Learning
rave.
at 7 a.m.
And
They
look at
went
this.
from the My Lady rave to
Yeah.
loadout.
Yeah.
And I love them for that forever.
But I just want to share something how crazy this is, because I had it a little easier. I was just making sure people showed up for the panel and made sure people were confirmed and filled empty spots. But Big and straight up, 11:30 was our first session that day. This dude drank 3 Red Bulls, had 0 things to eat, did not leave that seat until after 5 p.m., so 6 p.m., 11:30 to 6 p.m., without going to the bathroom, without eating a single piece of food, on 3 Red Bulls. And he talked to the highest level ordinal builders in the world, and they were all like beyond blown away by this man's intelligence and ability to host. And we are so blessed and grateful to have you here at IRL Alpha Man. Let's give him a huge round of applause, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo! I did it.
I want to say one thing. We would have let you pee.
Savage.
That was your own choice.
I didn't know. I thought I couldn't pee, and it was making me full of energy. I was like, okay, I've got more energy this way.
But I
Said I
really
can't.
do want to give one more shout out to the
Vegan had a
IRL LA crew, because I would not have been able to do it without you guys. And yeah. It was
Yeah.
really special.
So the real key is we're doing more of these. We're going on the
Yeah.
road for more stuff. Okay. New York. I don't care where.
Ordinal
Next
Asia,
Paris,
Philly, let's
wherever
go
we're
Philly.
going.
Asia.
We're doing something in Philly. We're doing something in Boston
No one
here.
wants to go to Philly.
There's a lot more.
So when it's not taping, I'm going to tell you where someone wants us to go, and I think we should consider it. But what I do want to say about Outer Edge LA, and Jen, maybe we will talk after this. It's up to you, because I know you're a fucking goat.
leaving immediately after
She's
this.
running
but
out
you
the
have
door.
my number.
not after.
We're 3 minutes over.
I'm saying
wanna
like in the
shit.
next couple weeks. So we have a 600 person filling like gallery downtown in Los Angeles, and I've been talking about Outer Edge LA. I don't really care about Outer Edge LA in general. I just wanted to do a big ordinal meetup, and I don't know if I can follow in Jen's footsteps, but I know that Overlord is going to be helping and coming here. And I'm not voicing it, but for people that don't travel and can't buy ticket prices to go travel around the world and country, it's going to be great, and that's where the alpha is and stuff like that. And obviously, it's in downtown LA, and we'll talk about it as soon as I get more details and stuff like that.
Beautiful. So last thing, if you guys don't know, we're going to end the this portion of the panel right here, we'll hang out here for a little bit. We have an after party. We'll actually talk alpha. Troy will actually tell us the fucking tickers. He's not going to keep them inside anymore, okay? We'll share what really happened. There's a bar right over there on Abbott Kinney. It's a 15-minute walk away. It's called Vibes Co. They got drinks. They got food. We'll be hanging out there. We'll be hanging out here for a bit, too. We'll be back next week. We got more panelists. I know we've already got one lineup. We got Jen, who is the blast expert, who told us she's actually going to school us on what the fuck is happening over there.
Yes.
Because it's complicated, and I need an expert. We'll have more announcements then. Thank you, everyone. This is